right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for Horse Sense. This is a program brought to you by the Equine Alliance of Marion County. Barbara Fitos and Tammy Gantt are here today to educate us about these beautiful animals that we have learned are as lovely as the people that come in here to talk about them. So, good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Tammy. How are you?
Good morning.
Very good.
Very good. Well, we had a topic that came up last Friday, and the question that you raised were, are there any sculptures of famous horses around Ocala, Marion County? And we did a little bit of research, and we're still working on it. We're going to put it up on our Horse Sense Facebook page as a kind of challenge to our followers. But we did find at Heathbrook, at Market Street at Heathbrook.
That's right. There is one there.
There is one there. That is the statue of Needles. And it's right in what they call their commons area in the center of the plaza there, and of course that's the former Bonnie Heath farm, so it's very appropriate that Needles is there. Right. And of course, Robert's Quarter Horses has the bronze statues of 5 running horses. They're not any particular horse, but they're it's an incredible display at Robert's Quarter Horses, and we're doing some more research, but there are some more around town, so stay tuned.
Those at Roberts are not specific horses?
No.
So could we include these ones here at the mall?
I think that they're included as in statues of horses in the horse capital of the world.
Exactly. So we're putting out the call.
I mean, we could name those. We could find some famous horse names for those.
Oh, that'd be a cool idea.
They look like they're ready to run.
Be a good publicity stunt, actually.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, but Needles, I forgot. Needles actually a horse that represents. I mean, a statue that represents a real horse.
A real horse, right? And that was
it's a life-size statue. Yeah. It is a life-size statue. He, he was the first Florida bred to win a Kentucky Derby in 1956, and that's what created the horse capital of the world because of all the influx of people that bought farms after that. In fact, they say he sold more real estate in Marion County than the realtors did.
Is that right?
Because all the people flocked to meet Needles, and when they got here, they realized, wow, there's wonderful spring water that's great for the horses, that builds their bones, and also the limestone, which is very similar to the bluegrass area of Lexington, Kentucky, where the horse farms are. So once they realized we had the same ingredients plus sunshine, where horses don't lose a lot of training and don't have hard winters, it just became a natural for this to be the second largest breeding area in the country.
Oh, I never knew that. So next time I'm at the marketplace, I see Needles. If I'm with a visitor or something, I can say, this horse can be credited with the whole area developing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bronze too, and that's one of the things, horses through history. I do a class on horses and the arts, and one of the things you see is the masters have always painted horses. Almost every master painter has painted a horse in some form, but also they do bronzes, and Da Vinci did a bronze called the Tory horse, which is the award you win when you win the Breeders' Cup. You get a replica of the Tory horse, and that horse is actually 3.5 times the normal size horse. So when you see him, the idea is he's majestic and strong, and that was representative of a lot of generals. Generals were painted on their horse to make them look more powerful. The general and so that was kind of the typical type of art you would see. But the Tory horse stands in Milan, Italy, at the racetrack, and he's 3.5 size, and it's actually the one that Da Vinci had designed. And it's really amazing because of his muscles, and he's much different than the horses you see around here, the bronzes, because the horses are more svelte and they're more like riding horses and recreation and then race horses.
Oh, interesting.
So we're looking forward to seeing how many of those we're going to get on our Facebook page.
I'm hoping that somebody say, hey, I know of a statue somewhere.
And there are a few that you'll see in drives and things, and we don't know necessarily, like we said, the research is, well, is that a famous horse that stood at your farm, or is that a statue that has significance from some other location, that type of thing. So,
wow.
A good fun project.
This morning we were talking about that Uber thing, that the alternate to a taxi cab where you call and get somebody to drive you. And we looked up the regulations for the city of Ocala if you're going to be in the transportation business. And it turns out that a horse-drawn carriage has the same rules as a taxi cab and the same insurance requirements and everything.
Yep.
I never knew that. So if I wanted to get a horse and carriage and go into business, I can't just do it. I have to jump through some hoops, huh?
Well, it makes sense. You're in the
Right.
you're in the roadways, and I think what's interesting is Ocala does have that, and that's what's really great because there's been struggles across the United States with horse-drawn carriage cities that are now, because the way the culture has changed. People say, well, why do you have horses on the streets in New York in Central Park?
I know.
And so there's actually been a real battle there for some people want to remove the horses, but the majority of people are very happy that the horses are there and represent a part of when you go to Central Park. And so what they say is, oh, the horses maybe don't have as happy of a life, but the horses get 3 months off as carriage horses.
Oh, really?
Even the horses here, they have to have a set time off. They get a certain number of minutes off per hour for rest. They have to have access to fresh water. You have to have special shoes so they don't slip on the pavement. There's a lot of things that goes into it, and they do how do you say it? Surprise inspections of horses at carriage companies.
Oh, really?
In the cities, in Savannah, in Boston, Philadelphia, a lot of places where the horses are. And when they do it, they always find that they come back and they say the horses actually have a better life there than our own horses on our farms. And so what they find is that the horses are so well cared for and groomed every day and just love what they are doing. And again, they get that long vacation that I'm sure all of us would like to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. At the Hilton, I don't know if he's still there, but there was a Clydesdale named Buddy.
Buddy is there.
Buddy's still there?
Buddy is there.
And I think he used to give carriage rides too, no?
He did. There's actually been several buddies, and a buddy look-alike. So this particular buddy doesn't do carriage rides like in the past. The other buddy was very gregarious, and he just couldn't wait till Sundays when they would do carriage rides for the
really?
guests. And he was a big ham, and of course they have the cookies that you can get and go out and give him a cookie. And he loves receptions because when there's a reception on the back terrace, people will, oh, there's a few carrots, oh, there's a few things that horses like. So you'll notice when you go to a reception at the Hilton, the carrots, apples disappear first. And it's not because people like the carrots and apples as much
They bring
or
them to
more.
Buddy.
They sneak them to Buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been back there, but Buddy doesn't have a buddy, or am I wrong? I didn't see another horse in there.
The previous Buddy did because he was very outgoing. He had a little couple miniature horses with him. This Buddy actually prefers kind of to be on his own. I guess
Really?
he's kind of like, I'm the guy. And so there are horses across the pasture from him, but he doesn't really go across the fence and nicker to them or anything. He just kind of like, I think, and some horses are like that, just like people. Some are social and some are more like, I got my pasture, I'm good. And so I think that's a little bit this Buddy. But today we're a little bit here to talk about an event that's coming up. And again, the mission of Equine Alliance is to connect business leaders with the horse industry. We have a really great event that started with Equine Alliance 3 years ago. It's going to continue on October 15th, and it's called Horse Sense 3. And the sense has a money sign, and the reason being is we're trying to promote economic opportunities for business leaders with the horse industry.
Okay.
And a little bit about it is what you'll get to do. It's from 5 to 7 on Wednesday, October 15th. It's free and complimentary to business leaders. There will be a cash bar and some hors d'oeuvres, so it's kind of a nice atmosphere to come out. It's at the Ocala Breeder Sales, ITW, which is near the track. The reason I mention that is because the horse sales are going on at the same time. So if you're a business leader and you wander over to the horse sales, you might end up with a horse, but you might want to come to our event first to learn about the industry to promote your business. So again, 5 to 7 on Wednesday, October 15th. And what we do is all the horse, different vendors and people that have opportunities to promote at their horse shows or promote in their publications or make connections with the business world are there. So you can go see Live Oak, you can go see Longwood. I'm trying to think of some others.
Yeah, the list is growing
Yeah.
by leaps and bounds. I think Ocala Farm Tours will be there, and just all of those opportunities for connection, whether it's for client referrals, whether it's for actual doing business with these various vendors and whatnot. But again, making that connection, and again, the learning opportunity. I'm excited from my perspective that it is at OBS this year, and that there is a sale going on, because we've hosted it in the past away from the actual horse complexes and whatnot, and you don't get the same sense of being a presence on, right there when there's a sale going on, and I think people really respond to that. So we're looking for a really good turnout because the locale has changed this year. I think that's going to be a really good thing.
Yeah, and I think our biggest thing is to encourage business leaders. And people go, well, what do you mean by business leaders? And we're saying anybody that has a small business or a business that are thinking about starting, but they know there's a big economic impact of the horse industry. So how can I, as my business, for example, a hair salon, how can I promote? Well, come on out and maybe, go to each table. Maybe there's an opportunity that you can, because HITS, for example, actually had a masseur and an infinite day spa, which is actually one of our sponsors, out at HITS last year.
Wow.
And they got a lot of business because these riders were sore and they needed their muscles massaged.
Sure.
And also, you can't maybe make a quick trip to the hair salon, but you want to look good for your show. They were out there to accommodate those needs. And so you think about your business, you say, do I really have a connection? And you'd be surprised at how many businesses have opportunity and can get on the inside track by meeting the different ones. There's opportunities for sponsorship of horse shows. If you say, I really want my name out in lights, if you will, and so banners in the arenas to, for example, we have a charity called Florida Thoroughbred Charities, and we're doing a golf tournament. So a wonderful opportunity to learn how, well, maybe I want some T signs, or maybe I want to come out and showcase one of my products in front of 150 golfers that are all connected and decision makers on horse farms.
So it's interesting how it took till now to realize we needed to make that connection between this huge industry of horses and all the other industries in our community.
Well, I think what's interesting is I think it existed when, Needles' time, 50s, 60s, 70s, the horse industry was much bigger than the city, if you will. And now what has changed is the dynamic of a wonderful, growing, robust city. So you have industry and technology, you have the Chamber and Economic Partnership, the Visitors Bureau, everybody, going full force to grow a wonderful city. And so what's happening, it's growing by leaps and bounds, but it's a lot of new people coming in our community and a lot of new businesses starting, which is exciting. But they don't necessarily, that's a disconnect, because horse people are out working on the farms. They're not necessarily connecting at these networking opportunities that are for business leaders. And so this gives a way for both to come together and find out that synergy.
Well, I was going to play you commercials, and it looks like the computer froze up. So if somebody is out there here in the station and you could help me out by rebooting the computer, there it goes. Then
There it goes.
It'll help me out. All right, and then we'll play you.
I thought you were going to make us do the commercials. I was
Well,
thinking
we
just
could
getting
sort
ready
of
to
do that.
I could do the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association.
I was just getting ready to play it now.
I can do a couple of the others. So
There it goes. It's doing its thing now. So, well, it is an interesting thing, the connection between what the rest of us do and how we can actually work with you. Does that include like legal services? Are there legal services necessary in the horse industry? It's kind of a weird question, but.
Well, I think it's like any business. You have insurances that you may have for your horses, and then also there's legal services needed and tax services, because those type of questions come up. Because there are contracts involved when you breed horses, when you sell horses.
I never
so there
thought,
are contracts and other legal things, like if you're doing maintenance agreements for $50,000 tractors. So there's things that you would do in any sort of business when you own property and manage assets. So
And the computer is back. So let's take a break.
it.
We've got weather and your sponsors, and we'll be right back with Horse Sense. Remember, your calls are an important part of the show. 622 WOCA if you'd like to speak to Tammy and Barbara. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A couple showers and a heavy thunderstorm this afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy today with a high 82 to 85. Then partly cloudy tonight with a couple showers and thunderstorms, especially during the evening, a low 68 to 73. Variable clouds tomorrow with a couple showers and thunderstorms, a high 82 to 85. Then on Sunday, times of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly during the afternoon, a high 85 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Evan Duffy.
Southeast AgNet invites you to listen to our daily agricultural news on WOCA. Florida Ag News airs at 10:02 a.m., Farm and Ranch headlines at 11:02, and This Land of Ours at 12:02 p.m. And for more information about a story you may have heard on Southeast AgNet, or if you missed a report, visit our website at southeastagnet.com. Keep up with the latest in agricultural news every Monday through Friday right here on WOCA and on southeastagnet.com. Southeast AgNet, serving agriculture across the deep Southeast.
Insurance, payroll, taxes, workers' comp? How am I expected to keep up with this?
APB.
Very funny.
No, APB is American Payroll and Benefits with over 30 years experience. Count on APB to save real time and money on workers' comp and payroll costs, filing taxes, all that frustrating and time-consuming employee paperwork.
Thanks, tall, dark, and smart.
Call APB today at 352-624-1999. Welcome to Infinite Natural Day Spa. We offer massage, facial, waxing, and hydrotherapy with body scrub. Infinite Natural Day Spa will bring you to an unparalleled all-natural experience of beautification, peace, and comfort that is uniquely yours. We hope to transport you to a place where you can truly appreciate a newly found state of relaxation.
Did you know that Marion County is known as the horse capital of the world? Did you know that Florida is one of the top thoroughbred horse markets in North America? Thoroughbred horses annually contribute $1 billion to the Sunshine State's economy and employ over 12,000 people, more than even baseball spring training. To learn more about the horse capital of the world or to join the membership of the FTBOA, the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association, please check out ftboa.com.
All right, 9 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return to Horse Sense from the Equine Alliance of Marion County. Barbara Fitos and Tammy Gantt in the studio. And remember, your phone calls are important. 622-WOCA if you'd like to speak to us about horses. Well, to Tammy and Barbara anyway. I'll listen. I won't have much of an answer.
You'll be an expert by next year with the horses. I can feel it.
I don't know if I'll be an expert, but I think I'll be better when people visit.
You'll be better informed.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to answer a few things. I'll say, let's go to that statue. Maybe it said something on the plaque, because I forget what Barbara said.
Or you'll go, we're the horse capital of the world. Definitely that, which is very interesting because we are the horse capital of the world because we have the largest number of horses and ponies in the United States compared to any other county in the United States.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Just the other day I went to the Homewood Suites. I had to go to a meeting over there, and they have on there, by their fireplace, these little miniatures of the horse fever horses.
Yes.
Are they for sale somewhere?
They are. You can actually purchase them in several gift shops, but the Marion Cultural Alliance, the Brick City for the Arts Center
really?
downtown is one of the locations. There's also a location for MCA located on top of the world in their cultural area. And so there's a few places that you can purchase them in town. They're real collectible. They're very hard to find. So if you start to collect them, it becomes a real mission, but it's a wonderful mission to have. And they basically represent the horse fever horses that were here in 2003 and then, or I'm sorry, 2012 or 2002, and then again in 2012.
Wow, is that how
reissued
much
them.
time passed between the
10
two?
years.
10 years.
Wow.
They had the
Yeah.
10-year anniversary last year. Now, the horses, the miniatures that are still in existence was the original run. So they have not done, and there's a limited number of them. So all of the horses
really?
aren't represented. So and that frustrated a lot of folks that were collecting them because they wanted all of them. But they did a limited run of about a dozen of the first group of the first herd, if you would, of the horse fever horses, and that once that collection. Once it's sold out, it's sold out.
Oh,
so
really?
the reality is that people that are getting them know that it's a limited run. So what they've got is a limited run. So it is collectible from that standpoint. So
Wow.
And it's interesting, there's actually that version, that's the commercial version you can buy, and I actually have met two artists that had one that was done a little bit bigger, kind of like their own personal one, and I believe those are the only one of a kinds, and one was for sale recently, and I was it was the same price as almost one of the large ones, and then I understood why. Because
yeah.
it's one of one, and it's really a fun thing to see them. You'll see them around town, the little smaller versions, and obviously you see the horse fever horses, which is very popular with tourists. They come in our offices, and FTBOA is located on Airport Road, and they'll come in and ask, well, where can we see the trail of the horses? And they want to drive around, and they have fun trying to count how many different horses they've seen on their trip through this area. And they ask, well, which one ones were from many years ago and which ones were a couple years ago. And it's interesting because the horses age very, very well. You don't see the vibrancy of the colors or the paints fade like you would think the summer sun would do.
It is absolutely true, yeah.
If you've noticed, they are very, very vibrant, and I know the artists took a lot of pains to make sure that would happen, because when you paint your house, it fades after 10 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these horse fever horses, most of them are outdoors. There are a few that stay indoors that were made specifically to be painted and stay indoors. And there's a chance to win one. The Marion Cultural Alliance now has
really?
one of the horses that was painted by Linda Ballantine Brown, a famous artist in this area. You can go downtown and purchase tickets for the horse. He's a paint. He's very beautiful.
A large,
A large, he's full-size
one of the
running.
big ones,
Wow,
yeah.
where was
Full-size running,
the
and
horse
it's
at?
beautiful,
Yeah.
brown and white. It looks like kind of spotted, and he has on his side the three other horses' faces blended in. But I thought it was just his coat, his pattern. And the other day, I took a picture of it. When I looked at the picture, I saw all their horses within this horse.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's
I
amazing.
gotta go see it. I couldn't win it though. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know where to
Yeah.
put it.
Oh, where
Well,
to put it? He's on wheels. He could fit right
right,
here,
yeah.
actually. He actually, if we
Yeah.
could get him through that door.
Yeah.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think they hung up. Could have been a wrong number. Maybe it was somebody looking for a taxi. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'd like to mention too, when we're talking about opportunities, again, the Horse Sense 3 on October 15th, 5 to 7 for business leaders over at the Ocala Breeder Sales next to their racetrack, and that's located at 1701 60th Avenue. But I'd also like to remind folks, a few weeks ago we talked about the bus trip with BG Equestrian Resort
Yeah, yeah.
down to South Florida to the races. And what's really, really exciting is that we almost have the bus full, and we have about 100 other people meeting us down there. So if you're interested in going to South Florida for the finals of the Florida Sire Stakes, which is just a wonderful program that promotes Florida breds, give us a call at FTBOA at 629-2160,
Okay.
or our website, ftboa.com. Find all the information. So if you're not going on the bus, we still have a luncheon, and we have a nice evening event the night before. So we want to welcome business leaders that might be down there for some other things to stop in and be a part of this really community of Ocala, Marion County folks going down there.
That is a cool one. Yeah, I love that. I love that idea of going down there and
Right.
be cheaper, more relaxing. I know it's a bus ride, but it's a special bus ride.
But I think the bus ride is more than a bus ride when I'm involved. There's trivia contests,
Oh,
just
really?
like these things you're
What
learning
are you,
on
like
the
the
show.
MC on the bus?
Yes, I become the
Yes.
MC. We're going to find a more obscure movie that is associated with horses.
Yeah.
It won't be National Velvet. I don't think it's Seabiscuit or Secretariat, but it will be one that people will thoroughly enjoy. And we also have a video that was produced in the 1950s about horses in Florida.
Ah.
So I'm excited because this will be the first time people will be able to see this outside of one of the racetracks. So a lot of fun on the bus ride. So the 5 hours should go fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And some activities where people can win some prizes. So they have to work among themselves. They're going to have to figure out how many horse farms we pass between here and on the interstate, how many horse farms we pass between here
Do
and
you
South
know?
Florida. Yes, we've counted a number of times. There's
Oh,
a few
really?
pieces of property we have to Google to make sure that
Ah.
is the farm we think it is. And there's some that are a little tricky because you see cattle near the fence, but really it's a horse farm.
I have a question about a horse farm here in Ocala, in Marion County. It might be outside the city limits. On 200, in the Christmas season, there's always these beautiful blue. Okay. There's never any horses on that property.
Actually, Winding Oaks does have horses. It's
yeah.
such a large
see 'em.
property. The front section where the busy traffic is and
Yeah.
all the noise and the fumes from cars driving by,
They won't
they
keep
don't
them
keep
there.
their young horses there. They
Oh.
actually moved them to the second and third portion behind it, and that's the old Mockingbird Farm. And prior to that was the Tartan Farm, one of the original farms here. And they've kept all the farm, and the fencing actually has changed throughout the years. So you see the original fencing, the Mockingbird fencing, and theirs. So Winding Oaks, to keep it quiet and calm for the horses, don't run horses on the front of that property. Now, a lot of horses won't even care. They won't even notice.
Right,
But they
right.
keep their young horses in the back, their training horses in the back, and their stallions in the back. But they do have, and they're the ones that have the beautiful, beautiful holiday lights, which are actually produced by a person here in the area.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and I bet I'm not the only person who ever wondered about the horses there. So now we know they're. If I drive down that side road, I can see the horses.
If you go on either side, you should be able to get a glimpse of horses. The stallions are usually in their barn during the day, and you can barely get a glimpse of the track. But that track is like a freeway in the morning with all the horses training. So
Really?
there are a lot of horses. They're just a hidden treasure there.
So
Wow.
either on 68th or 66th on Williams Road, you'll see
Very
it.
good.
You'll probably see it from there.
Well, ladies, thank you for doing this. I love this. Do you want to leave with a phone number or website? Or I know you have a Facebook page, obviously.
Horse Sense, we'd like to see if anyone else has seen any more statues around town and
We'll
famous
post-
horses or
we'll
otherwise.
We'll post that on Horse Sense.
Photos would be great. That would be great on Horse Sense.
On
yeah.
Horse Sense, so we'll
And then
put
if
that
you
out
have
there.
any questions about any of these events that we have coming up, you can visit the Facebook page for Horse Sense or ftbwa.com, and we'll be happy to give you further information.
All right, excellent. Barbara Fitos, thank you. And Tammy again,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Yes, grace is won day by day.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Today in Florida Ag News, I'm a Southeast AgNet. Invasive species continue to be an issue not only for those in agriculture, but for